Hi everyone, thanks again for joining us for another Tay Township Public Library craft. Today we're going to be making your very own watercolor bookmarks. So you can see it's got a background with the blended watercolors, and then I've added a little quote on there, and then you also get some laminating sheets to protect it so it can last for a while. So let's get started. The first thing you want to do is set up your area. So I've got a piece of craft paper here to work on so I can protect the table. And then we've got our 3 little circle paint palettes, our Q-tips, a cup of water with a clean Q-tip. And then if you want to add extra designs like I have, you can use a Sharpie or even a Crayola or washable marker to write on there. And you can use paintbrushes if you have paintbrushes at home. It works about the same. I like actually using the Q-tips better. You will also need a pair of scissors, maybe a little bit of salt if you wanted to make it have a different pattern. And then you can get started. So the first thing you're going to do is pour a little bit of water into the center of each of your little paint palettes, just to fill that little center part. Now mine look a little messy because I've done this a few times, and you can reuse the paint. I just let it dry out. So then you take your Q-tips and stir it so it dissolves the paint up and colors the water. So I've got green, blue, and a hot pink. So once you're happy with all the dissolved paint, you can use your 4th Q-tip, and paint with the water to make the paper all wet. Now this is special watercolor paper, so it won't tear through, and it can get pretty wet before it starts to wrinkle up. But don't worry about it if it starts to wrinkle up. You can flatten it a book if it's too wrinkly, or just let it dry, and once you stick the laminating paper on like this, it flattens right out, you can see. So we'll just do one at a time so it stays wet. And then you can take your colors and do any pattern you want. This is great room for creativity here. In this one I just did little dots and blended all the colors. This one I tried to do like a floral pattern. You can see a little rose there and some leaves. And this one I did stripes and just kept doing the same colors over the stripes until it blended the way I wanted it to. So let's just try and do some dots, and you guys can see how it works out. So you want it to be fairly wet. Don't worry if it's, because you want it to blend. So then I'm going to take my blue and just go around the pink. And you can swirl it a bit too to blend the colors. Take some green and swirl it in. Then you can go back to the red and add more. And you can see how it starts to bleed and blend together. That's what you want. That's the watercolor look we're going for. And you can do any pattern you want. Get creative. And of course, when it's all said and done, send us your pictures because we love to see what everybody comes up with. And it doesn't have to go right to the edges because we've given you a rough cut of the rectangle, and you're going to trim it out once you put your lamination sticker on there. So you can kind of see there. See how it's kind of starting to blend together? Oh no, well, it's pretty wet, starting to pour. Now this is the point when it's nice and wet that you can sprinkle a little bit of salt on there. And then what that does is makes it look speckly. I've done it with this one. I'm not sure if you can see. You can see at the bottom. And when it's all dry, you brush off the salt, and then you can do your written design if you want to do that. So on my other one, oh, this one actually, I did stripes, so I can show you how to do that. So again, start with painting and making the paper a little damp with your clean water. And then I just did stripes. So I did red, blue, green, pink, blue, green, and I just did it the whole way. And then once it starts to dry, you can go back and add more colors where you already did it to make it a little bit richer. All right. Pink, blue, green, kind of, you can see how they're blending. It's a little bright, but go over the reds. Oops. So you can see I've got some striped patterns there. Sorry, it's a little bright. There we go. So let that dry completely. Put it off to the side. And then you get something like this. And you can write, I wrote I love books on this one, or I fell asleep here, because I tend to fall asleep when I'm reading at night. So the last step is you got 2 of these 3M lamination stickers. So what you want to do is peel the back off. Here we go. Once your marker's dry and everything. And then you stick it where you like it best. That's why it's a little bit bigger, and like that. You can see it's kind of in the middle. Don't know if you can see that clear sticker. And then take your scissors and trim around the outside of that clear sticker. And then once it's all trimmed out, you can go ahead and stick the second sticker on the back. Or if out of your 4 pieces of watercolor paper that we've provided you, if you like 2 of them and you can't choose, you can always just laminate one side of it. It'll still protect it. It's up to you. I mean, you can make 2 bookmarks, maybe one for a family member or a close friend. All right, so there is my I Love Books one that was already dry. Nice and shiny. And then you could always do 2, paste them together and then laminate both sides, and then you can have a nice design on both if you wanted. Like I put this one on the back. That's also up to you. All right, so again, share us your pictures to library@tay.ca. We'd love to see it, and I hope you pick up the next craft activity too. Bye, guys.